Thank you for being here, everyone. A few weeks from now, I'm going to get to hold my younger daughter in my lap as she squeezes her eyes shut, makes a wish, and blows out 6 candles on her birthday cake. I get to have my 9-year-old run up and pull on my sleeve, begging for a piece without the frosting, because she doesn't like the frosting. I don't know how she's my daughter, but apparently she does not like frosting on her cake. I'll cherish every moment of it, as I always do. This year, though, I already know that it'll feel a little bit different, that I'll feel even more grateful than normal. Because, you see, after a decade of struggling with infertility, after my service in Iraq, I was only able to get pregnant through the miracle that is IVF. IVF is the reason that there are birthday cakes and birthday candles and birthday wishes and birthday gifts for both of my girls in the first place. But for countless women, that desperately sought after dream of becoming a mom became so much harder when the Alabama Supreme Court ruled that embryos in that state should be considered children under state law. Already, access to IVF has been thrown into chaos as countless would-be parents and their doctors try to figure out whether they might be criminalized for simply trying to start a family. A nightmarish yet logical next step in Republicans' decades-long campaign to overturn Roe, ban abortion, and take away our bodily autonomy. Meanwhile, the half-baked response that the Alabama state legislature has thrown together and recently was signed by their governor is nothing more than an insult to IVF patients and common sense alike. It's a response that doesn't do anything to address the underlying issue of deeming that a fertilized egg is a child with more rights than the woman who has to bear that child. It won't even go so far as to say that IVF does not constitute manslaughter. At this point, now that the first domino has fallen, it seems like it could only be a matter of time before more extremists succeed in enacting even more dystopian policies nationwide that take away women's access to even the most basic reproductive care. You know, I was stationed in Alabama for a bit when I was in the Army, and I didn't know it at the time, but infertility would become one of the most heartbreaking struggles of my life. My miscarriage more painful than any wound I ever earned on the battlefield. So it's a little personal when a majority male court suggests that people like me who are not able to have kids without the help of modern medicine should be in jail cells and not nurseries. That's one reason why I am so grateful to have Dr. Amanda Adeleye with me from Illinois as my State of the Union guest this year. Thank you. And we did not color coordinate our dresses, by the way. Great minds do think alike. As a reproductive infertility specialist, Dr. Adeleye has dedicated her life to doing this life-altering, life-affirming work. She knows what's right, even if extremist courts would like to rob millions of us of our rights. Even if far-right groups would like to throw her into jail just for giving people like me the chance to experience even the most banal moments of parenthood. Just to have a newborn whose diaper needs changing, a toddler whose shoes need to be tied. Look, last week I tried to get the Senate to pass my Access to Family Building Act, legislation that would enshrine into law every American's right to become a parent via treatments like IVF. Republicans didn't hesitate even a moment before blocking it, despite the fact that they'd spent days prior shouting from the rooftops that they did support IVF. But their actions speak louder than their words, and their actions make it clear the hypocrisy and misogyny that defines today's GOP. So for Dr. Adeleye's sake, and for every would-be mom or dad out there, I will never stop pushing, clawing, and fighting to pass this bill, because every woman should have the right to be called mom without being called a criminal. And if my Republican colleagues ever decide to truly care about defending the sanctity of families like they claim they do, then they have an opportunity to prove it by helping turn my bill into law. And I'm so proud to have Dr. Amanda Adeleye here, and I'm going to ask her to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you for those kind words, and thank you so much to Chairwoman Murray and to Senator Duckworth for being incredible advocates for reproductive care and for supporting IVF. I'm a reproductive endocrinologist, so what that means is I'm an OBGYN by training, but then I spend several extra years training on infertility. And the bread and butter of what I do is fertility care, and that includes in vitro fertilization or IVF. It's my passion to help people build the family of their dreams. And I was so disturbed when I saw what was happening in Alabama. Not only was I disturbed, but so were my colleagues, as were patients and future patients that could be affected by that Alabama Supreme Court decision. So my ask is really simple. It's clear that everyone here really wants people to be able to build families. And there's a simple way to do that. Let's allow access or confirm access for IVF care using Senator Duckworth's amazing bill, the Access to Family Building Bill. And also, I think it's a really important time for us to recognize this is not only a woman's issue, but it's everyone's issue. And along with that, we want to make sure that fertility care is accessible to everyone. And I'm so honored to be here today with these incredible people in order to hopefully make this a reality. Thank you.